In the URC, the Stormers are ahead, with Glasgow and Ulster just behind. Northampton and Bath are leading the Premiership. Toulouse and are doing the same in the top 14. And after 3 weeks of rugby, only 2 Japanese squads in Japan League 1 Division 1 are undefeated. Hello and welcome to the Rugby Roundup with Big Mike here on January 7th, 2026. It is I, Big Mike of Big Mike Rugby. Oh, it's been a while since we've done it. Let's see if I still got the moves, eh? Let's get into the beautiful game. Now, I must give out our apologies about the radio silence over the last few weeks. It was December, there was a baby in the house, and work turned a little bit shitty. And that's the worst thing about a passion project like this, is that it ends up getting pushed to the back when you need to focus on a few other things. But now it is the new year, and we can focus all of our love on rugby once again. Looking back on the records, the last time I did this was December 10th, which means we have 4 weekends of rugby to catch up on. But it's not too scary, I promise, as most of these competitions did have a bit of a break for the holidays. No international results. So, with all of that being said, let's get to the roundup, and we are going to start with club rugby and men's club rugby in Europe in the Champions Cup. It was round 2 so very long ago, but it's good to talk about because round 3 is this weekend. We started the weekend with Leinster downing Leicester 23-15. Also in this pool, Stormers took down La Rochelle, with that score being 42-21. Harlequins destroyed Bayonne 68-14. This is the heavyweight pool, and after 2 games, Stormers and Leinster are the only undefeated squads. Now let's look at some of the other pools, shall we? The Sharks of South Africa defeated Saracens 28-23. The Sharks of England and Salé defeated Clermont 35-14, and Toulouse went down to the Glasgow Warriors, the red-hot Glasgow Warriors, 28-21 after 2 games. Glasgow, the only team undefeated, Clermont, the only team without a victory. Any of these teams could make their way through after the next 2 rounds. Now, we've got Munster taking down Gloucester 31-3. Castries defeated Edinburgh 33-0. And Toulon took down Bath 45-34. Every single team after 2 rounds has 1 win and 1 loss in this pool. Only Bath sit on 6 points, everyone else on 5. And in that final pool, in round 2, Bordeaux, the defending champions, took down Scarlets 50-21. The Northampton Saints destroyed the Bulls 50-5. And the Bristol Bears crushed Po 61 points to 12. Northampton, Bordeaux and Bristol 2 from 2. Scarlets, Bulls and Po 0 from 2. Every team still has something to play for coming into this weekend's round of rugby. Now to the Challenge Cup. Montpellier destroyed Parma 31-7. Ospreys got a good victory over the hapless Montauban from the top 14, 33-22. And Connacht obliterated Black Lion 52-0. Montauban and Black Lion 0 from 0 on top of the pool. Montpellier and Ospreys undefeated. In Pool 2, Round 2 action. High-scoring game as Benetton took out Perpignan 44-31. The Newcastle Red Bulls got a huge victory yet again, this time over the Lions of South Africa 14-10. And the Dragons beat Lyon 23-21. Benetton and Newcastle 2 from 2. Lyon and Lions 0 from 2. And in Pool 3, Round 2, Cheetahs went down 45-22 to Stade Francais. Cardiff took out Ulster 29-26. Those are two teams in the top 4 of the URC currently. And it was a draw as the Exeter Chiefs drew 31-all with Racine 92. Stade Francais, the only team 2 from 2. And those are your 3 pools in the Challenge Cup. It is very interesting to see patterns already in such a long season. There are a few teams not taking these European continental competitions seriously, or not seriously, but naming weaker squads, knowing that they want to put all their effort into the top 14 or the URC, for example. And speaking of the URC, I apologise for this one. We have 3 rounds of rugby to talk about, round 7, round 8, and round 9. So if you missed something, I apologise, but I think I might do this going down the table. The Stormers are currently in first. They are 8 from 8. They started with a 34-27 victory over their fellow South African Lions. And just last weekend, staying in South Africa, 13-8 over the Bulls. Behind them on the table with 7 wins from 9 games are the Glasgow Warriors. They beat fellow Scotsmen Edinburgh 24-12. Then in the run-it-back game, they beat them 21-3. And just last weekend, they took down Zebre 47-10. Third on the table, we have Ulster. That's right, your top Irish squad is somehow Ulster. They are 6 from 8. They started round 7 going down to Leinster, 24-20. They had a Christmas miracle after Christmas, 29-24 over Connacht, and they took down the other Irish squad, 28 points to 3, Munster. That was a Munster squad that was sitting very clear on top of the table with the Stormers the last time we checked in. Final team in the top 4, the Cardiff Blues. We've got Cardiff representing Wales. They lost to Scarlets embarrassingly, 21 points to 17. Then they just scraped past the Dragons, 22 points to 19. And they went down to Ospreys, 33-22. Somehow at 6 wins from 9 games, they're sitting in the top 4. Other results from round 7, Benetton took down their countrymen Zebre, 21-15. Sharks took out the Bulls, 21-12. Munster beat Ospreys 26-10, and the Dragons got a good victory against Connacht 48-28. Round 8, Ospreys beat Scarlets 26-19. Benetton took down Zebre again 37-23, this time away from home, and Leinster just scraped it against Munster 13 points to 8. And the last games from round 9, I know it's all a bit crazy. Dragons took out Scarlets 28-5. Last minute try got the Lions a 23-22 victory over the Sharks. Edinburgh beat Benetton 15-14. Very luckily, as they were up 15-0 before 14 unanswered points. Leinster beat Connacht 52-17. And that gives us our URC table of the Stormers, Glasgow, Ulster, Cardiff, Leinster, Munster, Lions and Benetton in your top 8. 5 teams down the bottom with just 2 victories. We got 2 Welsh squads, an Irish squad, an Italian squad, and a South African squad. Now, if we can do that for the URC, I don't see any reason why we can't do it for the top 14 in France either. Oh boy. Now, Toulouse sit on top of the table. They're on 48 points. They've been deducted 2 points due to a signing from 2022. They are 10 from 14. Toulouse took out Lyon 41-19, absolutely destroyed La Rochelle after Christmas 60-14, but did somehow go down to Perpignan 30-27. Perpignan, who are sitting second to last on the table. Behind them sits Bet Montauban 53-17. Just scraped past Montpellier 35-33. And last weekend went down to Lyon 22-17. Three-way tie for fifth place with Bordeaux, Stade Francais and Toulon. Montpellier rounding out our top six at the moment. Other round 12 results from before Christmas. Stade Francais drew with Racing 92-20 all. Montpellier got a close 33-31 victory over Castres. That was with a 77th minute penalty. La Rochelle destroyed Bayonne 49-17. Perpignan got their first victory just a couple of rounds before beating Toulouse, this time beating Clermont 26-20. And Bordeaux took down Toulon 46-7. To round 13 after that good victory the weekend before. As I said earlier, La Rochelle went down 14-60 to Toulouse. Perpignan lost 31-16 to Toulon. Clermont got a good victory 34-19 over Bordeaux. Bayonne. This one was very exciting. Last minute converted try, Bayonne 35-34 over Stade Francais. Castres 36-22 over Lyon. And Racing 61-16 over Montauban. And to the weekend we just had. Final results. Montpellier taking out Bayonne. What is going on with this Bayonne squad? 62-22. Stade Francais 33-15 over Castres. Clermont 34-19 over Montauban. Bordeaux 62-20 over Racing 92. And Toulon, their biggest defeat since the mid-2000s, going down to La Rochelle 66-0. So La Rochelle lost 60-14 the week before, turned it around with a 66-0 win last weekend. Once again, I genuinely have no idea what's going on in top 14 rugby, but we know that Toulouse, Pau, Bordeaux, Stade Francais, Paris, Toulon and Montpellier make up our current top six. Okay, Premiership. Oh boy, this one's easy because there's only 5 games a weekend. Northampton are sitting on top of the table. They took down the Salé Sharks 43-21. Great win for the Saints. Then 41-21 over Bath. That puts Northampton in first, Bath in second. And last weekend, 66-21 over Harlequins. Bath are sitting in second. They are there because of a 50-14 victory over the Newcastle Red Bull Falcon Newcastle Red Bulls. There was that loss to Northampton. And they beat Exeter 33-26 last weekend. And that loss is the reason that Exeter sit in third. They beat Saracens 30-24. They beat the Leicester Tigers 24-10. And then they lost to Bath. Bristol are in fourth and have won 4 in a row. In that streak, they beat Harlequins 40-14. They beat the Newcastle Red Bull Falcons 36-27, and last weekend, a converted try in the 71st minute to former Drua player Kalapeti Ravovo gave them a 19-17 victory. Other results, Leicester bet Gloucester in round 7 45-14. In round 8, the Salé Sharks bet Harlequins 43-17, and Saracens downed Gloucester 30-21. And just last weekend, Leicester bet Saracens 36-28, and the Newcastle Red Bull Newcastle got their first victory of the Premiership season, 25-19 over Gloucester. Oh no, you know what? I forgot D2 in France. I won't go through all the results because I'll get tongue-tied and I'll embarrass myself. But going into this week of rugby, Going into round 16, Varn, my beloved Varn, sit on top of the table on 54 points. Behind them on 47 points, Colomiers, then Valence-Romans, then Provence, then Oyonnax, then again. Currently sitting at the bottom of the table, Carcassonne. Now let's head to the beautiful land of the rising sun. The last time I spoke to you all, we talked about the upcoming Japan League 1 Division 1 season. We've had 3 rounds of the beautiful game in Japan. This one I will go round by round as there have been some stories, let me tell you. First game of the season, we saw the Tokyo Sun Goliath squad take down the Black Rams 29-15. D-Rocks, the Uriyasu D-Rocks 27-24 over the Mitsubishi Dynaboars. The Honda Heat went down 44-33 to Toyota Verblitz. In a game that will define our top 4 currently, the Kubota Spears 33-28 over the Kobe Steelers. The Shizuoka Blue Revs 39-27 over the Cannon Eagles. And let me tell you, there was an absolute shocker in our opening round. Brave Lupus, the squad that we all talk about, the Richie Moanga squad, took on the Wild Knights, that Panasonic Saitama Wild Knights team. At halftime, the Wild Knights were up 33-0, and they ended up winning this one 46 points to 0. For the Brave Lupus, who are a team that go on their streaks and go undefeated for so long, this was an absolute shock to the system. In round 2, they just got a victory over the Blue Revs. It was 26-22. Seta Tamani Valu scored a try in the 64th minute. Saitama Wild Knights stayed undefeated, defeating the D-Rocks 37-19. The Dynaboars got a victory over the Cannon Eagles 17-10. Kobe Steelers got their first victory of the year, taking down the Honda Heat 28-23. Sun Goliath were down 25 points to 11 to Toyota Verblitz before winning 43 points to 25. Friendly reminder that this is the Verblitz squad, anchored by Aaron Smith, which also has Mark Telaire. Sun Goliath, though, have a little fella called Cheslin Colby, who did score and get some kicks in this one. Kubota Spears 50-28 over the Black Rams. It was a Bernard Foley kicking masterclass. Saitama Wild Knights sit on top of the table. They got a 33-3 victory over the Mitsubishi Dynaboar. The other current unbeaten squad is the Kubota Spears, who got a 79-20 victory over Toyota Sun Goliath. Black Rams got a win over the Honda Heat 32-28. Verblitz went down again, this time to the Kobe Steelers. The Brody Retallick squad 49-29. D-Rocks got a huge victory over the Blue Revs 34-21. And Brave Lupus getting back on track 41-19 over the Cannon Eagle. Heading into round 4 this weekend, our top 6. Saitama Wild Knights and Kubota Spears 3 from 3 up the top. And it's all the teams with 2 wins from 3 rounding out the top 6. The Kobe Steelers, Sun Goliath, Brave Lupus and the D-Rocks. Honda Heat, Cannon Eagles, they are our teams without a victory so far. Just one more men's competition to talk about, and that is the Rugby Europe Super Cup, round 5, which took place in December. Delta destroyed Bohemian Rugby Warriors 45-28. The Brussels Devils took out the Romanian Wolves 51-22. And in the top of the table, unbeaten clash, Castilla y Leon Iberians defeated Lusitanos 26-13. That means Iberians, Lusitanos, the Brussels Devils, and Delta are the teams that make it through to the semi-finals, which take place not this weekend, but the weekend after. In Women's Club Rugby, there are 2 more rounds of Premiership Women's Rugby in December. This is a competition taking a break until the end of January. Round 7, Trailfinders destroyed Leicester 57-10. That was a good follow-up from the Trailfinders, who were just 1 point away from beating Gloucester Hartpury the week before. Saracens defeated Exeter 24-14. Harlequins 22-17 over the Sale Sharks, and the Loughborough Lightning 31-19 over the Bristol Bears. Then the undefeated Gloucester Hartpury came back from their bye by beating the Leicester Tigers 75-12. Trailfinders had a draw with the Loughborough Lightning 29-all. Saracens beat the Sale Sharks 36-17. And Harlequins 38-12 over the Bristol Bears. After 8 rounds, Saracens are up the top, but they're the only team that haven't yet had a bye. Behind them are Gloucester Hartpury with a perfect 7 from 7 with a bonus point in each game. Harlequins and Exeter round out the top 4. The Leicester Tigers have not yet had a victory. And that's it for talking about the rugby that has happened. Quick bit about me, Big Mike Rugby. Find me on Instagram if you want to say a few things. I'll start posting again soon. I'm also on, what else am I on? X, I don't use it. And I'm going to start a TikTok and teaching the baby about rugby. Alright, let's talk about rugby again, Alright, funny time of the year, not too much news. I think the biggest news I have seen is Hoskins Sotutu signing for the Newcastle Red Bull squad, not from this season, but from next season. Is that the indicating sign that he is aiming to play for England, who he is eligible to play for since the All Blacks haven't chosen him for too long? He's also eligible for Fiji. Saw yesterday that AJ Lamb signed with Clermont from next season. He was a fringe player. He could have made the All Blacks last year. He's going to have an absolutely amazing season this season with Rico Ioane having a break. Anyway, the venues and the dates for the Rugby World Cup, the Men's Rugby World Cup games, have not been announced yet. Waiting for this. Let's see what happens, what games we can get to. Anyway, let's look forward to what is happening this weekend in rugby. We will start with European Champions Cup. The Glasgow Warriors are 2 from 2 in Pool 1. Clermont 0 from 2. Going into round 3, Clermont are playing the Glasgow Warriors. And then all the teams with 1 from 2 are playing in the middle as the Sale Sharks play the Sharks. Sharks on Sharks. Shark on Shark action. Shark, yeah. And Saracens host Toulouse, who have nothing to lose, especially after that shock defeat to the Glasgow Warriors the last time this competition was played. In Pool 2, this is the pool where every team has 1 victory from their 2 games. Castries host Bath, Edinburgh host Gloucester, and Toulon take on Munster. Pool 3, we've got the Stormers and Leinster up top, and Leicester and Bayonne winless at the bottom. Round 3 action sees Leinster hosting La Rochelle. Ooh, intriguing battle that one. Leicester taking on Bayonne, and the Harlequins are hosting the Stormers. Pool 4, Northampton, Bordeaux, and the Bristol Bears sit 2 from 2. Scarlets, Bulls, and Pau have nothing. Pau has put in all of their resources into France. So let's see this weekend. Pau are away from home against Scarlets. They should win that. Bulls are hosting the Bristol Bears, and this one's good. Bordeaux versus Northampton. To the Challenge Cup. Pool 1. Montpellier and Osprey somehow sit on top of this one, 2 from 2. Montauban and Black Lion, winless. Round 3. Montauban are hosting Black Lion. Montpellier take on Connacht and Zebre versus Ospreys. Pool 2, Benetton and the Newcastle squad are 2 from 2. Lyon and the Lions, nothing from nothing. And it's Newcastle hosting Perpignan, Benetton hosting the Dragons, and it's Lyons versus Lyon. And in Pool 3, Stade Francais 2 from 2, Racing 92 and the Cheetahs 0 from 2 because Racing and Exeter had a draw. Stade Francais hosts Exeter. Cardiff are taking on Racing 92, and the Cheetahs are home to Ulster. Round 16 in French D2 Rugby. Provence host Grenoble. Aurillac host Colomiers. Oyonnax host Carcassonne. My beloved Vannes, top of the table, host Stade Montois. Soyo Angolimi take on Nevers. Dax again. Valence-Romans versus Béziers, and Brive take on Biarritz. And Japan League 1 Division 1 is back, round 4 action. The Uriasu D-Rocks, who are 2 from 3, host the Cannon Eagles, winless. Toshiba Brave Lupus are going to need another big win to stay in touch with the top dogs. They are hosting the Mitsubishi Dynaboars. Saitama Wild Knights up top of the table. Can they continue their momentum against last year's top 4 squad, the Shiz Blue Revs? Toyota Sun Goliath, what are they up to? They are hosting the Kobe Steelers. Toyota Verblitz, Tokyo Sun Goliath, the Suntory Sun Goliath, not Toyota, jeepers. Toyota Verblitz are hosting the Black Rams, and the Honda Heat take on the Kubota Spears. The 7 Series comes back at the end of the month as the teams head to Singapore. And it's a good thing there's no international action, or else we might hit the 30-minute mark on this one. Imagine if I missed it when all these competitions were going. And Super Rugby, and Super Opaki, and Super W, and Major League Rugby. Oh boy, I don't know whether I'd be able to do it. Anyway, let's look at our Big 3 games. If you've only got time to watch one, follow one, see one, whatever, only got time to check out one on YouTube, I reckon these 3 are going to be the Big 3. We're going to start with a couple of honourable mentions, and if you know me at all, you definitely know what I'm going to talk about here. Our 2 honourable mentions this week are the Sharks taking on the Sharks, and Lyon taking on the Lions. Now, our real Big 3, let's follow the theme as Black Lion take on Montauban. 2 teams not expected to make it out of the pool stage, but maybe a win here will give them a bit of momentum to do what they can do. That is in the Challenge Cup. Other big games in the Champions Cup. We've got Bordeaux, the defending champions, taking on top of the Prem, the Northampton Saints. Do you remember what the final was last year? And 2 of the big dogs from the last 5 to 10 years, 5 or 10 years, Leinster are hosting La Rochelle. And you know what? That's enough on this horse for me to get back to this week. It's going to be a beautiful year of rugby. We'll be putting out a Champions of 2025 episode soon. Once the room that I do this in isn't so damn hot. Hello, heatwave. What else we got? Also, I've got Uncle Amp sleeping in this room. Kind of smells like him. We will also be doing a World Cup preview once these venues and these dates are sorted. Anyway, until then, have a beautiful week. Go and watch some beautiful rugby, will ya? Go Seahawks!